Now let's talk about Paul Ryan and a nurse that he became friends with. Yes, Paul Ryan has stood up for a nurse. Nurse of the week? I don't know. You guys decide. I didn't make a nurse of the week specific video this week, but in mind, I was thinking of nurse of the week when I did this, when I was looking up and doing the research for this story, because I'm very one-sided when it comes to this issue, but let me give you the details, and then we can talk about it in a little bit. So on June 7th, so Paul Ryan honors a nurse who refused to perform abortions, right? Reading that headline, I was already like, homegirl. Yeah, if you're going to get into labor and delivery, if you're going to be in that kind of nursing job, please don't give me your sob story. That was my initial reaction, and I just want to be honest. But I'll read you the story, give you the details, and then I'll explain to you why I'm looking at this nurse in a different light, and it's more of a situational system problem versus just a her problem. So on June 7, 2018, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan was a featured speaker at the Faith and Freedom Coalition annual conference. During his speech, he honored nurse Cathy for standing up for her anti-abortion beliefs and advocating for legislation that ensures other nurses are able to practice according to their deeply held religious and pro-life beliefs. Ryan pointed to her as a shining example of the importance of religious freedom and a symbol of that challenges that the pro-life movement faces. Risking job security, nurse DeCarlo's ordeal began in 2010 when she was asked to assist during an abortion as part of her nursing duties at the hospital. Prior to the incident, DeCarlo had clearly established an understanding with the hospital and her supervisors, whereby she could ask to be excused from abortion procedures and a replacement nurse would be found. In fact, when she was first hired, she was assured that she would never have to act against her conscience and perform procedures that directly contradicted her religious beliefs. So that right there, my friends, is the most important piece of information there. Like I said from the beginning, as a nurse, there are things that you might do that you don't agree with. When a patient decides that they want to be DNR and you think that they're too young, or you think that, they're too healthy, or you think that it's not time for them to become a DNR, you don't have if your conscience says that you should jump and try to save that person's life because they can be saved and have a healthy life after being saved, it does not matter. It's that person's patient's decision. And I always talk about that, and I always use that example because that's an example every single nurse can imagine and deal with, right? Abortion is a much more emotional conversation, right? But every nurse has met a patient that is DNR, and you saying, I don't know, if I was in your situation, maybe I would have stayed a little longer. Or a patient that's a full code where you say, if I was in your situation, maybe I'd be in a different situation. It doesn't matter. You have to do what the patient wants because it's the goddamn patient and it's not you. You are there to take care of the patient. Here, I understand. I get it. You don't want to do abortions. You got into labor and delivery because you love life, you love babies, and that's what you want to do. Congratulations. But if you get into the job and then one day an abortion patient comes in, a patient that wants to have an abortion comes in and you say, no, I can't do this, and there's another nurse to take care of, lovely. And I think that's what most nursing facilities do. I don't know. I work with nurses all day, every day. If there's a procedure, if there's something that I don't know or don't want to do or don't feel comfortable doing, and I ask a fellow nurse, 99.98% of the time, there is someone on the unit, there's a supervisor, there's a manager, there's someone that can replace me. If there is a situation where they can't, you got to suck it up, right? But, you heard what they said at the end. She was assured when she got the job that would not have to happen. She was assured that she will never have to go do any procedure against her conscience, against her religious beliefs. She was assured at the point of hire. I'm guessing if that's something she brought up in the beginning when she was getting hired, it really does mean something to her. She doesn't want to do it. She made it clear to supervisors, to the HR. Everyone was on board, and now the hospital is being like, oh no, you have to. That is an issue. I understand both sides. Nursing shortage around the goddamn world. There's always going to be a nursing shortage. I feel like that's just what I've come to terms with, right? So if there was a situation where there is no nurse that can replace you, you are the only nurse, it is a shitty situation. And it sucks. She stood up for her guns. I don't know what the end of that story was. Did they call someone in to do it? Did she end up having to do it? Well, I don't know what the end of that specific story is, but Paul Ryan says, good for her for standing up for her beliefs. And I'm with him. I don't agree with Paul Ryan on nearly anything, but I agree. If that's what they agreed on at the point of hire, if that's a conversation you had with your manager, with your supervisor, with HR, and everyone was on board, and now they're trying to flip the switch on you, no, you don't have to. You already made that decision. As a team, you guys already made that decision. Tell me what you guys think. Is it right that she decided not to do it? Do you think that we should go above and beyond to, make these nurses feel comfortable? As a nurse, I'm speaking as a nurse.